good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good, good. Welcome to the Coaches Show. I am Billy Collier. For OSN here, we have the Coaches Show every Tuesday here at Luigi's. So I invite you to come out. It's early. There's a couple of tables left. It's starting to fill up. Be sure and come out here, 117 Northwest 32nd Street here in Newcastle, Oklahoma. Now, here to my left is a man, not a myth, the legend, Gene Reed right here. Gene, how are you doing?
Wonderful, Billy. You know we love talking racer football, and
Yes.
we love dining at Luigi's. Great food here and great people.
Yeah, it's wonderful people here. Want to thank them. Want to thank Dee, Luis, everybody that got us here. Want to encourage you, if you're here, take care of your waiters. Take care of the people helping you out. They like serving you, and they smile a lot more when you take care of them. Hey, tonight's specials: $10 classic cheeseburger, $11.50 classic bacon cheeseburger. So come out, have a burger here. They have a bunch of other things that are really good. Their pizza is phenomenal. Their lasagna, that's all I can say. Now, you understand, a fat guy knows food. So here I am. Come get some food. Hey, tonight we got some wonderful guests. We're going to talk to offensive coordinator J.T. Ketch. We also have Jackson Shanuel is going to be on the show, as well as Tyler Engelking is going to be on here, talk a little bit about his running backs and special teams and the quarterback. So he'll be on the show tonight. But before we get started here in this first segment, we always talk about the last week's game. And so I turn it over to Gene, who is the brains of this.
Well, Billy, we love talking about the game, see how it went last week. Speaking of the coaches here, let me, for all you who are here, the players who really root and support their coaches during the show tonight, they always get great treatment following the show.
They do.
So you'll be sure and give a good support to your coaches. We had a great win last Friday night, 40-3 victory over the Bobcats of Bridge Creek. Maybe not our best showing. There's just something that made it feel like it wasn't our best, like maybe we didn't play up to our level. And part of it may have been the clock. You know, there's no big hit against something happening with the scoreboard clock. Our sound system crashed a couple of weeks ago. These things can happen. But unfortunately, the clock failed. It had all sorts of different times showing on it. So the coaches had to pay close attention as to how much time remaining, the down and distance, and everything like that. Maybe that was part of it. But we just didn't play up to our normal self. Still, we had a lot of different players on the field. We had a lot of players involved in the plays, Billy. And we held the Bobcats to 83 total yards.
Wow.
They had their passing. Our passing was only 4 of 11 for 56 yards. That was a little interesting because we've always had stronger passing. We didn't have any touchdowns passing. We did have 1 interception. But we had a great game on the ground. We had 38 carries for 269 yards. T.J. Bradford carried 17 times for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
We did have a couple of turnovers. 2 turnovers, 1 interception, and 1 fumble. So just running through the numbers briefly, and then I want to just talk a little bit about where we stand in the rankings. Newcastle had only 56 yards. Bridge Creek was held to 0 yards passing. Rushing, 269 yards and 6 touchdowns total for the night. Bridge Creek held to 83 yards, no touchdowns. Our total yards, 325. Their total yards, therefore, 83. They did have a field goal. We were 2 of 5 on third down conversions. They were 4 of 15. So the Racers really demonstrated a lot of good defense. And offense wasn't so bad. It just didn't seem like we got in our stride. Now, if I may, Billy, let's talk about the rankings.
Okay.
That win was not a major win, but, I mean, I guess every win is
Every win,
big.
yes.
But the Max Preps and the Daily Oklahomans still have, both of them have Newcastle ranked number 6 in the state. So there are people who watch these teams and watch these games, and they have high regard for the Racers right now. They're going in.
Agree.
One other note, how did our other teams did? Newcastle won 40-3 over Bridge Creek. Blanchard defeated Tuttle 20-6. Hera defeated Tecumseh 34-12, and Bethany over Classen SAS 45-6. And that Tuttle score of 20-6 was a little unusual, right? What was so unusual about that?
Well, it was incredible. If you looked at the Blanchard Tuttle game, you saw 20-6. What you may not know is that Blanchard never scored an offensive touchdown.
Right.
They had 2 pick sixes and then some field goals, but they never once did the offense make it into the end zone.
It was a defensive struggle for sure.
It was.
Tuttle scored 1 touchdown with no extra point. I guess a touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
For 6 points. And Blanchard scored 0 touchdown on offense, but did some pick six and scored.
Well, and one thing I would say about our game at Bridge Creek, it seemed like they stayed farther back on defense playing the pass, and so it opened up the run. And so I think we just continued the run. Another thing, and I give all the credit to Spangler in this, they slowed the game down. I don't know if you noticed that. They felt that if we're not on the field, then we can't score. And so they slowed it way down, which just didn't give us much chance to get the yards. But one of the things I noticed on the offense, they saw the run was open all night. I don't know that we had more than 1, maybe 2 plays of negative yards on running. And so we thought, well, let's just run it and keep running.
And, Billy, we're going to have coaches up. We'll ask them a little bit about the game against Bridge Creek. And, of course, we're going to be talking to the coaches and Jackson Shanuel about the upcoming game against Hera.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I'll be honest with you, I watched some video, look at them on paper. Hera is not a bad team.
Hera's a strong team. They're ranked among the top 10. They're ranked at number 10 in the state.
Wow.
They're going to have their teeth set on edge against us because we defeated them last year. They played hard. We won over them last year, and they are playing pretty tough right now. And I think they'll give us a good fight up there in Hera, and it's going to be 2 nights from now.
It is on Thursday night. I hope you heard that from Gene and I. The game this week is not Friday night. If you show up in Hera on Friday night, you will see a dark stadium, and it'll be very lonely. So come on Thursday night. The game is Thursday night, 7 o'clock at Hera.
Right.
And so be there for that. Hey, we're going to take a break here real quick. When we come back, we're going to be with JT Ketch, who's the offensive coordinator. So stick around with us here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list.
Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again.
We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma because we wouldn't be a community without you.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Hey, welcome back here to Luigi's. Glad to see you at the Coach's Show here. We have JT Ketch with us, who's the offensive coordinator. And he's here tonight going to talk to us a little bit. Good to have him back. Again, we're at Luigi's, 117 Northwest 32nd. Come out tonight. Join us. Have a good crowd. Is everybody having fun here? Calm down. All right, so everybody's having a good time, and just wanted to thank Ketch for coming with us. He's been a regular this season, really enjoyed it.
He's crowd favorite.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Coach, good to have you here again for sure. And it's hard to believe that we're past midway in the regular season, 4 games to go. What have you been most happy about so far?
It's been exciting to get to have the depth that we have. I think that's been the funnest thing, and get to see things that we've talked about in the off season and what we wanted to build and who we wanted to be, and us get to that come to fruition throughout the year. You know, we want to be a team that plays fast, gets set quick, runs a lot of plays in succession. We've been able to do that. We want to be able to play a lot of guys. We've been able to do that and do it at a high rate. So just getting to see the plans that we had get to come to life it's been exciting.
Well, and this is your first year as offensive coordinator. Are there some things that you've learned just as being the coordinator? I know you've helped on the offense for several years, but being the offensive coordinator, what are some things that are a little different for you this year?
A little different. Well, practice gets to be mostly the same until we get to team for me. I still get to go work with my O-line, and I love doing that every day. It's a different kind of pressure, right? But it's very rewarding when you have this idea of how you want something to operate, and when you get to see it come to life. You know, obviously, I think I've said it a few times where I just hold a piece of paper up, and the kids are the ones that bring it to life. And when that happens, it's really cool. You know, makes it feel all worth it. So
good. And Coach, when coaches talk about depth, it's not just numbers.
Right.
It's young men out there who bring some skill with them.
Correct.
Who can come in, can be plugged in, and make progress.
Yes.
Now, going into Bridge Creek, what did you see going into that game that you felt good about, that you expected to see good out of the Racers?
We went a little bit more into our quarterback run game, read game. Got them involved at a higher clip. I think that played to our benefit. Got quarterbacks moving out of the pocket. You know, a few times, Burke and Shaniel, both of them, when they came in, they were able to pick up yards on the ground. You know, when we drop back to pass, and I mean, all that stuff, it works out for us. I think we only threw the ball about 8 times. That's all we had to do. We rushed for about 322 is what I got. So, you know, when we can move the ball on the ground like that, we're going to be pretty hard to stop.
Well, and I think you're right. Having Shanuel and Burt back there and having that read option, you really keep the defense on their heels. They don't really know which way to go. I think they've done a real good job of watching the slant or the curve of the defensive end, and I think they've done a real good job of that. I've been really impressed with their style of running, being able to cut, go through arms, strong running. Is that something that y'all really worked on with the running backs as well as the quarterbacks this year?
Oh yeah, we got us a gauntlet is what it's called. You know, those big kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but quarterbacks and running backs every day, every Tuesday I believe is their day with the gauntlet. They spend 10 minutes running through that just on repeat.
Knocking into their arms and their hands. And
banging them up, and they get to work on staying strong through contact, and I think it's helped us a lot.
Good.
Well, good. Well, what are some big takeaways? I know we talked about some things you saw going into the game for success. Coming out of the Bridge Creek game, what were some takeaways that you saw and thought, hey, that's something good, we're going to hang on to that against Hera and future teams?
Just finding new and interesting ways to get the ball around, right? I mean, this week, I remember watching the broadcast. I think y'all talked about, you know, Jordan and Jalen being in the backfield. Even Caden was back there at that position. You know, sweeps. Just we have so many guys that need the ball in their hand because they're gifted, and just finding different ways to get them involved is always going to be a focal point for us. You know, there's only one ball every game, so it's never going to be even. Right. But just finding ways to get these talented kids the ball is always going to be.
So you started introducing some sets that would make that happen. So we saw that, and you did get them involved.
Yes, yeah, we had a little bit of success with it. So.
Well, one of the impressive things about that is you weren't having – it seemed like they were really guarding the pass more than the runs, what it looked like to me at least, kind of fading back more from the linebackers. And so to bring the lane boys in and, like you said, Longman, to have them in the backfield running that with that speed around the edges, I thought was a great call. We even commented, like you said, on the broadcast, we hadn't seen that all year. And so that was an excellent segment, again, just not knowing where the ball's going or where it's coming from.
And that's always what we want to do. We still live within a certain system, but always finding different ways to accomplish basically the same goals.
And, Coach, Bridge Creek, like a lot of teams who are in the building mode, getting better and better, they're not a strong program perhaps at any given time, but those kids played hard. I noticed our offensive line didn't just push them away every time. They stood firm, and that was a good test, right?
Yeah, our whole district is very competitive. Even if, you know, everyone always talks about that top half, but even those at the bottom, they're building I mean, you've seen it every year. I mean, when we started watching Tecumseh a few weeks back, we're like, wow, they've gotten a lot better. And we said the same thing when we watched Rich Creek, and I'm sure that we're about to talk about Hera, and we said the same thing when we watched Hera. All these other teams are building strong programs, and so it's an exciting time.
Okay, do you feel that strength even at all the levels? And I think you're right. Well, I came into the season thinking top 4 tough. I'm in this season thinking at least top 6 are tough. Is that something you think that helps prepare you for later, or actually prepares all the teams for possibly in the playoffs or playoff run because you played that strong team?
Oh, yeah, I think it's beneficial. I mean, you really don't want to hit a time in a year when you're like, it's hard to maintain focus, but when there's always a challenge in front of you, it's easier to keep everyone engaged. You get to try new things and grow. So I'm really excited that where this class is.
Oh, good. Us too.
We are excited.
We talk about it as well. Hey, we're going to come back. Can you stick around for another segment?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to have Coach Ketch here for another segment. We're going to take a break real quick. Here, get up, get you something to drink, then come back and watch. Or if you're just sitting at home wondering what to do, come on out here to Luigi's. We're right here. Got a great crowd out here. They're too busy eating to cheer, but they're a great crowd out here, and so I want to invite you to come to that. Be with us. We'll be right back with Ketch after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Hey, welcome back here to Luigi's. Want to welcome you. Hope we're talking to you as you get in your car and head down here, 117 Northwest 32nd Street. Hope that you can come down. There's set specials tonight. I said it wrong earlier. Forgive me. Classic cheeseburger is $10.50. A classic bacon cheeseburger, $11.50. All the works. Come out for that. They have many other things on the menu, but just wanted to invite you out. Come enjoy the show with everyone that's here.
And, Billy, we have a lot of coaches here.
Yes.
We have a lot of players here. A lot of the fans are here. So it's a great time to get to rub elbows with the team.
Yes.
And enjoy some meal.
And there's coaches here that aren't football coaches. We have coaches from all over. How are you doing? All right. And so we have.
And they wave at us from the.
That's
from the
right.
audience.
And so come out and get to see somebody. Hey, we're glad to be back. Another segment with you, Coach Ketch.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you. Now you got Hera coming up this week. What are some things that you were expecting probably to see from them defensively?
Yeah, so they run a 3-4.
Oh, wow.
Most of same thing like Blanchard, right? The 3-4. But the main difference is their defensive ends, instead of playing fives, playing outside our tackles, they're going to play 4 eyes, right? Okay. Be under. They want to really clog up the middle, force everything to bounce. They have those 2 outside linebackers. They'll play down quite a bit. They'll basically give you almost like a bear front, 5-2 if they want. But they are very aggressive in the way that they play defense. They bring a lot of things that are kind of exotic, but that they really want to force you to get out of a rhythm, right? They want to get you behind the chains. So
And
that's
we
something
won't put
with
you
it.
on the spot, but I'm guessing you have an answer
I hope
for
so.
some of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't have one yet, I'll find one soon.
That's right. Well, and you're right. I think they do play very aggressive. They have some guys that enjoy hitting.
Yeah.
And of course, anytime you're talking linebacker, defensive line, they like hitting.
Oh, yeah, they got to.
But they have some pretty big guys. So you're looking at some things. You're right. What I saw is they like to just kind of fill in all the gaps there. Very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
They're very aggressive in getting to those holes and such.
Very similar to what we saw last week.
Yeah.
With the aggressiveness.
So those are good. Now, how do you prepare? How have you prepared going into a short week?
Mm-hmm. Well, you try to keep as much the same as possible. Too much change in a rhythm or to your normal flow can really mess with the athletes, because at the end of the day, it's not about what I want to do. It's about whatever we think is best for the kids. So we try to keep everything as normal as possible. Little variations to tomorrow's practice will be a little different, obviously, because it's the day before a game. But really, you want to keep the rhythm that you've built. Don't mess up too much. Don't change too much that doesn't need to be changed.
Well, that probably answers the next question: is how do you keep the team focused, especially when there's so many distractions? You want to focus on this team, not last week's team, last week's game, not 2 weeks from now. Then you've got spring break coming up. Of course, it's not a big deal for Newcastle because we're off on Friday. I mean, fall break. Yeah. But we're off on Fridays anyway.
Yeah.
So anything else that really keep them focused?
It's just keeping the same rhythm. Us as coaches, we meet on Sundays, get a game plan together, send it out. It's all ready for them on Sunday night. Mondays we show up. We have a long meeting time on offense and defense on Mondays. We flush yesterday's game, introduce this week's game plan. Go take the field, go through just kind of a pseudo let's talk about the adjustments. Let's show their fronts, show their alignments, how they're going to line up to us. Kick them out the door on Monday. Tuesday, come back. It's our intense day. It's tackle. It's getting everything knocked out. Wednesdays, refine, do situations, and just kind of keeping that rhythm is how we keep them focused. They know what they're going to show up and do. It's not surprising,
Well, and that brings up a question that I had. You've mentioned this before, but maybe if you're watching and didn't know this, you played at all levels, played football.
Mm-hmm.
How has being a player in the past helped you to understand that rhythm or to keep that rhythm going with the players, or is that something you've learned more through coaching than as a player?
It's a little bit of both. You have those shorter weeks. We played a few Thursday night games. When I was in college, we played Thursday night games when I was in high school as well. But I personally, it never really bothered me. But I think you have to think about it more as the coach, and maybe it is because my coaches kept a general scheme that I didn't even think about it being a shorter week. I couldn't tell you. It's been a few years, but.
And Billy, Coach Brickman has said this a couple of times when he talks about motivation. It probably goes with focus too. He says these young men are already motivated, and they're probably already focused. So we as fans kind of worried about, hey, are these kids paying attention? Are they focused? But I have a feeling they're pretty well focused anyway. You just have to make sure you avoid any unnecessary distraction, right?
Yeah, we're pretty blessed with the kids we get to work with every day. They show up and they want to play football, and not just play, but play at a high level. Right. So as far as that goes, it's not like we're sitting there having to get them riled up every day or yell at them, tell them to snap out of it. They're great kids.
But energy level does count.
Oh, yeah.
So energy does count. So how are you feeling that come off a big win last Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the energy level is showing up in practice today and during the week?
Yeah, I felt like today was more physical than it has been. I don't think we were very happy with the way we performed in practice a little bit last week. And I think that it's been something that, it's obviously been discussed, and it felt better today than it has been in the past.
Well, great. Well, we're excited to see this game. I'm glad everything that you're saying. Some things you said kind of remind me of Coach Blue, just saying you're focused on y'all. You're trying to get better as you. You're not trying to adjust what you do to who you're facing specifically. You're just trying to do what you do and do it better, adding some more options. So that's awesome. And thanks for being with us again.
Oh, of course, anytime.
And, we're going to have you be a guest speaker someday if you want to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I think
Hit
it'd
me
be
up.
awesome. I think it would be awesome.
We've got Jackson coming up. You got any tough questions you think we ought to ask him?
No, but when he comes up, I'll probably have to leave. I don't want to be in the sermon room with him for too long.
Coach, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for being
I'm just
here.
kidding. He's a good kid.
Well, thank you. Hey, we're going to take a break right here. We'll be right back, as you heard him say, with Jackson Shaniel, defensive back and a quarterback. So stick with us through this break here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Hey, we're back here at Luigi's at the Newcastle Coaches Show. Hope you're enjoying it so far. We are glad to welcome here Jackson Shaniel. You'll see him over here to our left. And just good to see you. I hope that you're having a great year. Gene, I'm going to turn it over to you.
He is having a great year.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to embarrass Jackson with a few of his stats. But first of all, I'm going to say Jackson is the one guy on the team looks bigger out of pads than he does.
He does. That's weird. That is so wild that you can walk in. I'm like, he doesn't have to wear pads to the coaches show, and you weren't.
Well,
So,
Hey, Jackson, we're glad to have you here. Jackson plays both offense and defense, as everyone knows. If I've got these right, for the year, 7 of 9 passes for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Has had 13 carries for 75 yards and only 4 touchdowns in those carries. He knows how to play defense too, Billy. Did you catch that? As our is it free safety or
free safety?
Free safety, and he's managed to get a tackle or 2. Max Preps has him at 29 tackles, 11 solos, and 10 assists, 1 interception. Has a couple of tackles for loss. And what does that tell you with the free safety running 28 yards and tackling for a loss?
just understand you're having to run about 20 yards just to get a tackle for a loss.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, you're fun to watch. The team is fun to follow, fun to watch. We had the pleasure of watching you some last year, but you seem to have turned it up a notch this year. So what has been some of the factors, noticeable factors for you, the differences between last year and this year?
Well, I'm just trying to be consistent at workouts, and we had a lot of summer workouts and stuff like that, team building stuff. So I just try to be consistent with that and show up whenever that's going on and try to get closer with my teammates and build that relationship.
So you started early, started in the summer, kept up in the fall. And how about the games itself? Has the game changed? I mean, you were quite comfortable last year. You appear to
Yeah.
be very comfortable in all aspects this year. You feel comfortable as
Yeah,
you
I
look?
think last year it was a little bit faster, being like a new starter and whatnot. But this year it's really slowed down for me. I'm starting to understand the game more, and yeah, it just feels a lot easier.
Well, and it seems like from your position back there at safety, you're seeing things very fast. You're also the vocal person on defense, kind of getting people in position.
Yep.
Are you one of the captains on the team?
Yeah, in the defense, probably. Yeah.
The defense, I think that's incredible. But watching you back there, getting people, one thing I've noticed this year, just like what you're saying, you're recognizing it faster.
Yeah.
When you're seeing things move, I don't know if you remember it from last year or just from film or what. And it really seems like the other guys respond to you. Do you feel that, and maybe that's an unfair question, but do you feel like the guys really do respond to you? And that's been one of the differences this year as well.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier this year since TJ and Trey, I played with them last year, so it's a lot easier to make calls and stuff because we run pretty much the same stuff as last year. And I think just having that experience with them has made it a lot easier to make calls and adjust.
What was I going to ask you about offense? As quarterback, Jackson, what would you say, what's your connection with the team? How comfortable are you, and are you really enjoying the quarterback aspect of it as well?
Yeah, I love playing quarterback.
You've got to be.
Yeah, it's fun. I have a lot of good receivers, but I think my number one, I've been playing with them pretty much the whole time I've been playing quarterback, Rex.
Okay. Rex, yeah.
Yep.
I know he's here today somewhere.
Yep, he's over there.
Sitting with some girls or something, I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But, yeah, and I think you're right. And one thing I've seen out of you, out of the players this year, especially, and I like how you say that, they're both your defensive backs or also your running backs and receivers, how you guys trust each other. We haven't seen too much overrunning. I've seen that in the past few years where a running back goes to the short side of the field, and pretty soon you got 9 players over there to tackle him.
Yeah.
This year it seems like you've really stayed put, and I've seen that work to y'all's advantage. How much knowing these guys, playing with them for years, just kind of has built up that trust? You know where they're going to be, and they know where you're going to be.
Yeah, we trust each other and know what to do because we know each other. We're hard workers. We get in the playbook, and yeah, we just trust each other. We've been playing with each other a long time. We're friends outside of football too. So,
well, let me ask this real quick: who's the hardest hitter, you, Jordan, or TJ? You can be honest. You can be honest. I won't tell.
I like TJ. He's pretty hard.
He's come in on a few slobber knockers. I agree. But you know what? You back there watching the guys come, you all have just laid the boom. And I would say that from Lovejoy, Rice, even defensive end, defensive linemen. You all have hit, but you've also had great technique coming in. And I've just appreciated seeing that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, so we're flip-flopping back and forth. Back on offense. You go in, you're in a quarterback. What are you hoping the call is going to be, rush or pass? What's your favorite?
I like to throw it, but if it's a quarterback run, I'm not sad about that.
You're not shying away about that.
No, I like running too.
When we see that, and I think you have a great arm for passing, what do you think of this the run option that y'all been doing? Knowing the defense help with that a little bit, where you can kind of see what they're doing and you kind of can react?
A lot of our film study and stuff's going over that, and we have a lot of RPOs, so it's fun to switch it up and try to catch them off guard.
Well, and you do it well. Do you have anything else?
Well, I want to go back to defense one more time.
There you go.
Since we're going back and forth, because the guy's excellent on both directions.
Yeah.
Hera has a pretty salty running back, number 21. Billy and I are going to discuss it a little bit later on too when we talk about keys to the game against Hera. The kid's got a lot of yards rushing. What was I going to ask you about him? You going to focus on him?
We're just going to treat it like any other game and just try to prepare as best we can. And
what's his strength? Is the strength quick, cutting, just getting away from it? What do you attribute?
He has some good blockers on the receivers and set him up nice. But I think if we can shed those blocks and run some alleys, we'll be all right.
Oh, I think you'll do very well. The way y'all go speed, again, 2 tackles for loss from the deep safety position. You don't see that very often, especially at this level. So I think y'all do a good job. And he's a big boy. I think y'all are ready. One of the things I like that I see is I doubt one of you will have to tackle him by yourself. And that's something I've seen in all you guys, that you guys just know each other. And so I really appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing you this week there in Hera, and looking forward to watching you throughout this year and next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, very proud of you, Jackson.
Thank you.
And this is Jackson Shaniel. You'll see him on Thursday, not Friday, Thursday at Hera. He plays the defensive back there, free safety in the back. Sometimes I can even hear you at the top of the stands.
He's quarterback on defense,
and
quarterback on offense.
Then he will quarterback sometimes. They've been kind of going back and forth a little bit, him and Bert. Come out, enjoy watching him, enjoy watching the team. And you heard it here. You heard a guy give the line all the credit he could. So that was a great job as well. Hey, thanks for being with us, Jackson.
Thank you.
We're going to be right back here with quarterback and running backs coach and special teams coach Tyler Engelking. So stick with us after this message, after this break from the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At CFD, our mission is to deliver quality dentistry by providing big practice benefits with a little practice feel. Since 2008, we've updated our look, technology, and have added new smiles to our tenured staff to better care for you right here at home. Convenience for you is one of our biggest goals, and we often provide same-day treatment to minimize your time off work. We are open Monday through Friday to serve you. Visit cfdok.com for details. We look forward to seeing you at our big little practice.
Hey, welcome back here to the Coaches Show here at Luigi's. Having a great time here. Got to meet Jackson Shaniel, talked with Coach Ketch. Now we're going to spend some time here with the special teams, quarterback and running backs coach. This is Tyler Engelking. First time on the show. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm great. How about you guys?
Doing good.
Tyler, we're glad to have you here today with us, Coach. And it's your first year here at Newcastle. So tell us a little bit about your past, what brought you here, some of your past experience, coaching experience.
Yeah, I started my career as a GA, a graduate assistant at Mustang. I was there for a year, and then I went to Westmore, and I was there for about 10 years. And then last year I was at Chickasha, and then obviously now I'm here. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, I've been coaching for about 12 years, mostly at Westmore, and then a couple other spots for one year here and there. So.
Well, what are some other things that you do here also besides coaching?
I teach English. I teach
nice.
freshman English and pre-AP English for 10th graders. Yeah.
Wow. So it's not just a coach's class there. You got pre-AP. You got the whole works.
I do. Yeah.
That is awesome.
We've asked some of the other coaches how they feel. How do you feel about how the team's progressed this year?
Yeah, it's one of the best teams I've actually been a part of in the about 12 years I've been coaching. And we just get better every day. We focus on what we want to do, and not, you hear it a lot, nameless and faceless opponents. Like, we really, in our quarterback room and running back room, that's what we really focus on. And I think it's helped them a lot. You know, we don't want to go out and play a logo. We want to focus on what we're doing. And it's helped us take the steps needed to become, hopefully by the playoffs, reach the potential that we have as a team. So we've improved in that room.
So tell me a bit more, nameless and faceless.
Yeah, we don't care who we play. We don't care who's on the other team. We don't care about what logo, what colors they're wearing, because we believe that the only people that can beat Newcastle is Newcastle. So if we make mistakes, we'll lose, and that's on us. It's not about the other team. It's not about the opponent.
Now, with your running backs, I know the very first of the year, hated to see Bolser and what took place there. But with being the running backs coach, what were some of the things that you did? Because it seems like they're still doing well. Carson, I know, is still hanging out in the room with them. But what are some things you had to tell these young men as running backs to continue in the year?
Honestly, I haven't done a lot. They're really, really good football players.
Oh, good. That's good.
So I've really been blessed just to come in, and I mean, they run hard. They know what they're doing. You know, one thing that we focused on was blocking better, and so what I do is for when they get so many pancakes or knockdowns in a game, like I give them a bag of Skittles the next time that I see them. So that's been the major focus. What do you do without the football? Right, because that still matters. It's like basketball. If you don't have the basketball, what are you doing without the ball? And that's one thing that we focused on this year at running back is what do you do without the football? Are you still being a great teammate? Are you blocking for the people that you need to block for? Are you running hard? If our quarterback pulls it, are you running hard like you have the football, or are you stopping and turning around and watching? Right. So those little things matter. And so that's kind of been our focus. What do you do without the ball? I don't have to coach them when they have the football. They're really, 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 really good football players, all of them. And so, but that's the next step is how to become a championship team is what do you do without the football? Can you be an unselfish player without the football?
That's
good
great.
Point. And, Coach, we've talked about depth and all the talent on our team. You have a little bit of talent at that QB position, too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I mean,
I'm blessed there, too, yeah.
There's like they're not 8 or 10, but it seems like because there are at least 6 because we played 6 in one game.
Yep.
Right.
Starting with Jackson Burke, what's your feeling with him, and what's your working relationship with him?
Yeah, I have a really good relationship with all of them. With Jackson, he's been a 3-year starter, so he knows the offense really well. He knows where everybody's supposed to be at. He gets people lined up. He knows he just knows the offense like really, really well, and so that helps him. Go through his progressions and stuff like that. I mean, he's a great kid, too. He listens to what I tell him to do. I mean, we come to the sideline, have conversations, and so on and so forth. But, I mean, coaching Jackson, it's just like the running backs. Like, he's a good football player. Mm-hmm. So, along with everybody that I coach. Like, I can't tell you how blessed I am. Like, really, I walked into probably the best situation a coach has ever walked into. So,
Coach, we feel blessed along with you, and not only for their playing ability, but you have some young gentlemen.
Yes.
Really polite. And I know, you know, they may be one way to us and not to their teachers, but when I talk to their teachers and other coaches, they all say the same thing. Jackson Burke, to begin with, but everyone behind them. They're gentlemen. It's good seeing that because we're developing young men to go into the world to work and to be good family members. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, we don't really – we tell them that their identity isn't football players. Their identity is what kind of person they are. Wow. So, like, when I first got in, I always told them, hey, my identity is in God. That's who my identity is. It isn't as a football player. And so we set that path really clear. No matter what you do it the right way. So because football ends, but being a man doesn't. So we want to continue that. And I didn't set, like, Coach Brickman, he does a great job with that. So, I mean, he set that when he first got here.
You say it
well.
But
that's an emphasis that we talk about. Like, what kind of person are you? That's your identity, not necessarily in being a football player.
Now, we talked to Coach Haggerty, and I think he's one who said special teams are really special when they're special or something like that. He said no, maybe he said they're not so special until they're out there, and then they're special.
Yep.
That's probably how he said it, and so how true that is. You don't think about special teams a lot until they're on the stage acting.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your. You've taken special teams this year, right?
Yeah, me and Coach Haggerty kind of help each other out doing it.
Yeah.
What is the part that you do? I'm trying to remember what Haggerty said. Once
they kick, he's responsible for the ball coming at him, right? Did I say that right?
I do I do kickoff, and I do punt, and I do field goal.
Okay.
And then Coach Haggerty does the other 3. So he does punt return, kick return, and field goal block.
Well, see, I'm somebody who thinks a team can win or lose based on special teams. And I'm assuming since you coach that's probably something you feel as well.
Absolutely.
What are some things that you focus on with the special teams? And I know a lot of these guys play other positions as well. What are some things that you tell them, here's what special teams needs to be focused on?
Yeah, the first and biggest thing is we say no substitution errors. So we want 11 on and 11 off. We can't take a timeout during special teams because we didn't get the right personnel on the field because you're not paying attention to the game or something like that. So, substitution error is a no-go. Like, that's the fastest way that you find yourself off of special teams is if you're not paying attention. The other thing is the football is very important, so we always want to catch every punt that is kicked to us because if you add it up at the end of the year, teams that don't catch the punt will lose 300 yards when the football bounces backwards. That's probably 5 touchdowns that you don't get because you let the ball bounce. So we want to catch the punt. And
we're seeing that this year.
Oh, we are.
Guys are doing a great job with that.
And then the biggest thing is we always break out all of our special team stuff and change the game. We're a small portion of the game, but we believe that we can change the game.
Yeah.
And so we always break it out and change the game. I think that's what our special teams identity is. Make sure that we're able to change the game positively. Let's not change it negatively.
Right.
And it's the little nuances or whatever I'm looking for. When one little thing goes wrong, it makes a special team play really look crazy. So not only do you teach the basics, you obviously have to kind of teach if this goes wrong.
Yeah.
If this happens, do this.
Yes, we practice those scenarios too. Like, pretty much anything. Like when we practice punt, we're gonna practice like what happens if it's a bad punt. Everyone run to the sideline, get away from the punt, stuff like that. We practice any type of kickoff that someone can throw at us, any type of fake punt, stuff like that. So we practice all that stuff so we can change the game and help our offense and our defense win or get better field position for them so we can win.
Billy,
right?
we may have seen an onside kick handled pretty well this year.
Yes. Yeah, we commented on that.
That was a good job.
That wasn't coaching. That kid made a heck of a play, I'll say that.
That was good. Well, and something I've seen in practices as well as in the game, it seems like, especially at the high school level, when it comes to special teams, you kind of see the players, and I don't mean any disrespect to other teams that I've seen in past years, they all kind of take that mental break. And one of the things I've seen in the team is there's not that mental break. And even when the kickoff is there, whether if you're kicking off, guys are staying in their lanes. When you're being kicked off to or punted to, you're seeing the guys take a helmet, getting set up for the return. Caden Longman is one that sticks out to me that is just, I think if he gets near him, he gets it, grabs it. That's something you've gotten on him that tells him, don't let this get behind you.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing how the special teams is treated at the same level as offense and defense. Has that been your experience behind the scenes? I've never been a coach. But behind the scenes at other places you've been, that they put that much importance on it?
I think Coach Brickman probably puts more importance on special teams than any head coach. When I was at Westmore, we practiced special teams a lot, but not as much as we do here. It's just he just believes that, like, we break it out on change the game. He believes that special teams can change the game either negatively if you don't put what you need to put into it, or positively if you do. Right. So, I mean, that comes from Coach Brickman, to be honest with you. Like, you're right. A lot of high schools are, all right, let's just kick it. Let's just catch it. Let's make sure that we're staying in our lanes. Right. Well, our head coach won't let me do that. So he's doing his job.
And Coach Brickman, in one of our early shows, talked about how you like special teams and you're willing to take it, and you've done a great job. So
that's true.
We enjoy watching that.
And I love watching – you see this a lot of plays, a lot of tackles, and a lot of situations. But even in some of the blocks on special teams, you're seeing the players take pride in what they did and yelling and grabbing each other and celebrating. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I'm an enthusiastic coach. I love energy. I don't think you could play football without energy. So
No.
I love seeing those kids flying down on kickoff. I won't just call it. Well, I'll call that one number 7.
Grady.
Man, he flies down there.
He's
Boy,
a good player,
that's impressive.
Yeah, it's
And
good.
they all do. He just might be the fastest. I don't know.
Yeah, he's really stood out on kickoff. He's like the one that has really stood out for us on kickoff.
We're proud of that type of play.
Well, great job with the quarterbacks. It's great watching how they'll come in and out. Like I said, that one game, there were how many quarterbacks that played. If you took the numbers off of them, you wouldn't see that big a difference. There's not a drop-off. Great job with their running backs.
Except in size.
Yeah, I was about to say.
yeah, there's a little difference in the size of some of them.
But
even in the running backs, how everybody has stepped up. Everybody's stepped up for each other, which is something that I really love seeing as well.
Man, we're glad to have you at Newcastle, Coach.
I love it. I love it here. I'm happy to be here.
Players mirror coach. So
That's
great
right.
job, and just want to tell you that. Thanks for being here with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for
and
having me.
I hope to have you again, and we'll talk about this more going into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So, hey, just want to thank you for being here. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be back for our final segment. Again, just thank you, Tyler Engelking, and all of our guests tonight. And we'll wrap it up, talk a little bit about Hera right after this break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
It's no secret that life is busy and you have a million things on your to-do list.
Here at Community Bank of Oklahoma, we've made banking simple again.
We can help you get to the important things in life, like the big game tonight.
We do all the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Race towards us at Community Bank of Oklahoma because we wouldn't be a community without you.
Hey, welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're going to wrap this up here. We're going to talk a little bit about the game on Thursday night. And again, want to let you know the game is Thursday night, not Friday night. Going to be a day ahead of time with fall break. So be sure and be there Thursday night. Cheer on the team. Let them hear the noise. Let's take a big group to Hera. Have a great time. If by chance you can't get to Hera, know that you can watch it on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're on Roku. We're on Amazon Fire Stick. We are also on Apple TV, or you can go to the app or the website, oksportsnet.com. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can watch it. Would love to see you there. What we're going to do is talk a little bit about Hera, and we've already kind of mentioned it a little bit tonight. Hera looks sharp. Hera looks pretty good. Now, do they have some of the things that we have? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. They do have a big running back. He looks like a powerful running back. They do have a lot of things that they can come at you with. They have a real good receiver, and in Palmer, that is real good as well. So what I think going into this game is I think everything on paper looks like it's going to be a very good game. Newcastle should come out on top, as it is on paper. However, you know this as well as I do. It's a 50-50 shot once the clock starts and, boots hit the leather.
That's right.
So, Gene, what is some things that you kind of see?
One thing that's kind of interesting to me is a matchup between running backs. T.J. Bradford versus a young man named Devin McCarrig. Or maybe pronounced McCraig. I'm not sure I pronounced that, but I want to say
McCarrig.
I'm going to say McCarrig. McCarrig is number 21. He's a running back. He's also a linebacker. He's a senior. He's 5'9", 170 pounds. He's in 6 games. He's carried 76 times for 742 yards. So he's a good-sized running back. His longest run has been 44 yards. I mentioned this because it's going to be an interesting matchup because our young man, number 5, T.J. Bradford, I think he has this game kind of in focus because I think he's looking to make a mark as well. He's already made a mark. TJ, number 5, running back and defensive back, he's a sophomore. He's also 5'11", or he's 5'11", just a couple of inches taller. He's 170 pounds, same weight as the other one. He's played in 5 games, 79 carries for 573 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry. His longest run was 70-yard touchdown. He carried 17 times against Bridge Creek for 128 yards. So all that stats just caught my attention because these two kids are probably looking at each other, and I'm sure they each want to outdo the other, and they're both working on some year-to-date stats that they're awful proud of. So Newcastle versus, I'm not sure what to say about Hare. I haven't watched them as much as you have on the details. I think we have to take Hare seriously.
Yes.
They're ranked among the top 10. They're ranked at number 10 by the Oklahoman among 4A class schools, all 4A. We'd better eliminate any mistakes that we may have experienced because mistakes could be costly against a team like this. We're going to be playing at their house. I think one of the keys is somehow limit McCarrick's impact on the game. Probably do a better job even than we did against Bridge Creek in terms of the offensive line, and that's what I think would be keys to the game. How about you?
Well, I think keys to the game, and you hear this again from me this week, I think is going to be on the defensive line, defensive ends. Elcision and Barry are doing even better job. You're hearing us speak their names more often. They're good at keeping it bottled up. In fact, we've talked about all year to keep them from, they're not running out of the play. Now, if you look at the stats for Hara last week and you look at the stats for Newcastle last week, the percentage of rushing yards to passing yards is pretty much the same. If you look at the games that Hara's played, every game that they have won big by at least 20 points. The game that they have lost by about 20 points. And so they're going to give you everything they have, and they're going to make you have to outplay them. But I think our defense, our 4-2-5, staying on them, keeping them contained. If our defensive front can stand up to their offensive front, trusting the guys come behind him, and that's another big thing. You heard us talking about that with Jackson Shanuel, is that to trust your other players, to not try to think you have to overcompensate for them, but to trust that they're doing their job and you are doing your job. This Hara team, for what I saw in video, has a way of kind of trying to get you out of position, guessing at what they're going to do, and then they go fast. So if they can you keep that front 4 there, have the defensive ends keep it bottled up. You have Lovejoy and you have Rice right behind them. Don't get up into the pockets too fast and get stuck, but keep them there, and then you got your 5 in the back. I think that's going to be the best way to beat them because they want to outrun you, they want to outpound you, they want to out-hit you, and then I think you also just have to play within yourself. I like what all the coaches have said, all the players have said. We focus on us.
And I'll just hitchhike on that briefly. We named so many names. Those other 2 of the 4 defensive linemen, Jaron Webb and Maddox Birdsong. So you're right. The defensive ends have their job, but that means driving them into those 2 interior defensive.
Absolutely.
And I think they will do their job. The linebackers are there. We can trust them to do their job, and the safeties as well. So I'm confident as long as the Racers play their game.
And I think with the defensive helmets and a lot of them play the offense, the more helmets you see past the line of scrimmage, the better for the team. If you see Newcastle defensive guys and their helmets are beyond the ball, it means they're beating their man and they're going to clog up that middle. Then you have to try and get around the speedy defense. On offense, it's the same way. When you see offensive line helmets getting past the line of scrimmage, it means they're beating that man. They're going to open up holes that way as well. I'm looking for a big game out of TJ Bradford. I think he's going to have a big game tonight, the way he can get down, kind of hide behind those and go. On defense, I think you're going to see a lot out of Lovejoy. I think you're going to see a lot out of Shanuel in the lanes and TJ Bradford as well, as they keep that all contained. I think it'll be a great game. I think Newcastle should come out on top, but I do think it's going to be a close game.
Billy, we want our team not to look ahead, but we fans will look ahead for just a moment. After this game Thursday night, the following week is senior night It's a home game at Racer Stadium against Classen SAS. It's senior night. There'll be some special festivities. It should be a great game night, and we want everyone to come out. Go to Hara if you can go to Hara. Be here for the following Friday night against Classen.
Absolutely. Come out. A lot of these seniors are 3-year starters. They've been playing. They've been your team, your Newcastle team for 3 years. So come out, celebrate them, celebrate their families on senior night here in 2 weeks.
Last home game of the regular scheduled season, and if we're fortunate, we'll host some more after that. But this will be the last regular scheduled home game.
So hey, thanks. I want to say thanks to all of our guests tonight. You had JT Ketch, you had Jackson Shanuel, you had Tyler Engelking. I want to thank them for being here tonight.
Had a good crowd tonight.
Had a great crowd tonight. There were a lot of eating. There was a ton of eating up here. We're starving.
And how about Louise and his staff? They take good care of us.
They are good. They love you being here.
And we have a great technology person right there.
Somebody you don't see over here on Friday nights, he's our camera guy. On Tuesday nights, he is our producer. It's Uriah Martinez. Can't do this without him over there.
Love you, Uriah.
So I want to thank you as well. Hey, want to say goodbye here from Luigi's. Hurry out. There's still places to sit. There's still food you can get. Come out here, 117 Northwest 32nd. If you can't do it tonight, come out any night. They're here every night. So come out, enjoy that. Can't wait to see what happens in Hara. Hope to see you at the game. If not, hope to see you watching on OSN. So thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.